Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited to be back. So I'm just gonna jump straight into this video. Now that everything's kind of like on the boat, I've always been interested in wanting to discuss dating, or dating just in general, or even online dating. Everybody has tried online dating, and I'm one of those people that's like something flying in the middle of the air and I just can't catch it. I find it to be really fun, and I find it really nice because it allows you to be a little bit more social. I don't really have enough time personally to hang out with a lot of people or to socialize as much because I work like 4 to 5 different jobs, so it's very hard for me to socialize, and then I have to like cram time in. I wanted to go through a couple of different websites that I've used personally for online dating at one point or another. Now this can also be current or past or present. I thought I'd give you guys an actual concept and idea as to how these sites work and how I was introduced to them. So here we go. So the first website I was introduced to was Adam for Adam. Now, for those of you who know what Adam for Adam is, it is not the best website for dating at all. I would never been there. Do not go on there if you're at work right now or something like that. I have to tell you, it is probably the most grossest website to ever go to for anything. Adam for Adam is technically a hookup website where you just basically hook up with people. This is before I even came out, and I was just trying to experiment with myself, and this is about 5-6 years ago. And apparently that was one of the big websites that were so popular. That was like the GRINDR of back then. So I jumped onto there and I was like, wow, this website's really weird. And it was my first experiment into the gay world. Like, I didn't know anything. The first time I got to explore and really talk to people that I felt I could connect to without necessarily having to do anything with, if that makes any sense. I feel like with websites like that, you're going to get exactly what you give. So if I'm the type of person that puts on my profile like, hey, I want to hook up, and I end up getting a lot of people who are going to want to message me that are interested in just that. My profile was more like, you know, I'm just looking to meet new people, meet some friends, take it from there, be social, you know, yada yada yada. Not anything more than that, to be honest. I kept it very PG-13 for my profile. On that website, I would never think that I would end up meeting anyone, and that's one of the places where I ended up meeting my ex. And we were together for 3 years, and to be honest with you, we didn't end on terrible terms or anything like that. It wasn't like one of us were bad or anything. Like, it was a really good 3 years. We lived together for 3 years, and it was nice. It was a nice relationship. It's just, you know, things happen where you grow apart, but that was my experience from that website itself. So I don't really know how it works now. I'm pretty sure it's probably the same way. It's probably just more advanced and all that stuff, considering new technologies out and stuff like that. But if you're looking to hook up, that's probably a great website. If you're looking for something a little more serious, I wouldn't recommend doing so unless you're planning to put something serious on your profile. I think GRINDR was the next phase of like what happened when it like came out. On GRINDR, I think, yeah, I was introduced to GRINDR because GRINDR I found out through a mutual friend, and I didn't know what a GRINDR was. So my friend was talking about, like, he showed it on his phone. He was like, yeah, this is the app, and this is the stuff that happens in this app and all that stuff. And I was like, oh my goodness. I didn't know it was mainly a hookup app. Oh my God. It's terrible that there's no specific website that you can go with gay men where you can just try to meet people in a normal circumstance. Everything has to be like a hookup website. So I ended up making a profile on GRINDR, and I kept my profile the same, so it's very innocent and stuff like that. Obviously, that's not what you should be on GRINDR for, apparently, but people do it. You know, sometimes you'll find those rare gems that are looking for something a little bit more or whatever like that. This is like years later. After I do that, I ended up talking to a few people, and I actually made friends with a few people on GRINDR. Only genuinely made one good friend who I'm still talking to nowadays. But GRINDR, I would say, is definitely more for hooking up more than anything. After a while, I just kind of got tired of it, and I just kind of just removed it, but I did make some good friends off of it. After that, I ended up getting on everybody in my job was on OkCupid. So there was this one point where OkCupid was really popular, so everyone in my job was on OkCupid, so everyone was like, why don't you just jump on OkCupid? So I jumped on OkCupid, and OkCupid was probably my most successful application, website, whatever thing that worked out, because as soon as I jumped onto OkCupid, it was like, OkCupid was the most social out of them all, where people were actually people. Like, people weren't acting weird. people were looking to meet genuine people, to date, for relationships, short-term, long-term, or whatever. It's less of a hookup website. It's more if you're looking for like a relationship or a friendship or just something, just if you're looking just to talk to someone. So it felt nice being on OkCupid because I felt like that was more of my arena of where I should be at, talking just to like normal people, as opposed to those people who are just trying to like hook up. Not that I have anything against people who just like hook up, but you know, it just felt more like my area, and it felt more user-friendly, which I liked. It didn't feel dirty, it didn't feel like anything. It just felt like you being in a social room with a bunch of people around you that are exactly like you, and that's what it felt like for me. OkCupid was probably my most successful out of them all. I ended up getting dates through OkCupid. I ended up meeting people. A lot of them ended up pretty good. You know, some of them ended up not so good. A lot of people tend to put up pictures where it's like their best looking pictures, and then you meet them in person and they don't look anything like their pictures now. So I would say, if I can give any recommendation, I always personally like to do this. I don't put up professional pictures. I always put pictures of what I actually look like now. So I'll put up like Polaroids or a selfie or something like that, just so that people get an idea and a grasp of how I look like, and this is exactly what you're gonna get if you were to meet me in person. Because nothing's more awkward than meeting someone in person. They don't look anything of what they look like. And I've had those encounters where I've met someone in person, I'm just like, I have a lot of success stories with OkCupid. I've actually made friends through OkCupid, and then I ended up dating people who kind of were almost semi-serious, and it was my first real dating experience in general after I got out of my first relationship, because I've never dated before that. So it was nice to come across a lot of people and meet new people, and even though I had some good experiences, some bad experiences, it helped me change as a person and to understand the community. After OkCupid, the next big thing was Jack'd. Now, Jack'd is the equivalent to GRINDR. I don't know how many people use Jack nowadays. I don't understand the popularity of it nowadays, but it does the same thing as GRINDR. It just locates the people that are the nearest, closest vicinity to you. I think it's a hookup website. I'm not sure what Jack really is. A lot of people go on there looking for friends, for hookups, for whatever. I think my experiences with Jack I don't think they've ever been good. I think profiles always ended up being fake, or the majority of people ended up to be flakes, but I did meet like two people from there maybe that turned out to be actual people, and I met them in person, and you know, nothing ever went from there on out. It was like dates, and then it just never went beyond that. But I mean, I wouldn't really use it again. There's no purpose for me to be on it, because I just feel like it's not really doing what it's supposed to do. I don't know, it's kind of hard to even describe. So I believe the last one is Tinder. Tinder is the last dating website. No, it's not the last. I take that back. So I jumped on Tinder before, and this is when Tinder was really hot. So I jumped on Tinder when it was really hot because everybody kept talking about it. I didn't know what Tinder was, and then people explained it to me. And I thought Tinder was actually just for straight people. I didn't even think it was for gay people. So I made a Tinder, and it turned out that there was like a ton of people on Tinder that are gay around. So it turns out with Tinder, there's a lot of people within your vicinity that are looking to date and all that stuff. And what it basically does, I love this because this is pretty cool. It's just like a yes or no kind of thing, and you decide if you like someone, you put them in a yes bucket, and if you don't like someone, you put them in the no bucket. The people that you put in the yes bucket, as long as your picture comes up on their profile, if they click yes and you click yes on their profile, then they match you up together, and then you guys can instant message each other, which is pretty cool. First, initially think about it, it can sound kind of very shallow because it's basically basing everything off of photos. You can write a little profile on the bottom, but they match you up. And I've talked to actually a lot of people on Tinder. Meeting anyone, I don't think I've ever met anyone. But I find with Tinder that you'll get people that are interested in you, and then after a while they just kind of like, you start to lose interest, so then they just stop talking. Or I've had a few successes with it, but I don't think I've ever met anyone from it. That's my experience with Tinder. So if you're looking for something a little more serious, Tinder is probably the nicer version of looking for something like that. It's very similar to OkCupid, I would say. Maybe people are there looking for hookups, but I find that it's less likely with Tinder. I feel like people are looking more for like dating in Tinder. Like Tinder's more specifically targeted towards dating. I think the last website that I signed up to was Plenty of Fish, and I don't know, I've heard people had really good success stories. Like Patty Stagner from Millionaire Matchmaker, she's found her boyfriend on there, and then my best friend, she found her boyfriend on there. which is pretty cool. I was like, okay, let me just give it a shot. So I gave it a shot, and I find that a lot of people are nowhere near the type of people that I would be looking for to date. I don't even know what to think of it, to be honest with you, because it's like, there are a lot of people there that are looking for relationships. I find that a lot of people on Plenty of Fish are a little bit desperate. Like, I just feel like they're trying really hard. And I'm like, okay, I'm not, like, for me to get to know someone, I need to kind of chat it up with you a little bit. And then after I chat with you, I need to confirm that you are who you are. So then it needs to turn into a cam conversation or a phone conversation. And then after that, maybe once I see you on cam and confirm that you're actually a person, not a catfish, then I will meet you in person. And then once we meet in person, then we can take the chemistry on from there. I like to take things very slow. I'm not the type of person that's just like bam, bam, boom, boom, let's go. You know, and if I feel like you're coming on too strong, then I start to get a little nervous because I'm just like, why are you coming on too strong? I don't really have any connection with people on there. I find that it lacks a lot of people. I feel like it gives you the same profiles over and over again, and maybe it's because it's not one of the most popular gay applications like GRINDR or OkCupid or Tinder. Like, I feel like those are more popular. And maybe Plenty of Fish will grow to be even more popular within the gay community. Who knows? Like, I'm not putting it down or anything like that. You just never know. You never know. Those are all my experiences within those applications. If you guys want me to get more in depth, I'm actually going to probably give you stories of, interesting stories of guys that have actually dated. I don't know. The one that I'm probably going to use the most is OkCupid, because that's the one that I had the most success with. So, and that's the one where I went on the most dates with. So I'll give you guys some funny, crazy, not so good, positive, negative stories regarding some of the things that happened through those dates. So yeah, I'm gonna not throw people under the bus, but hopefully I'll be able to explain a little bit more of my experiences, and maybe you guys will find them interesting or not. So it'll be like a little story time. I'll probably make it something like that. But if you guys like my channel, please click like, subscribe if you haven't subscribed before. I'll have more videos to come, obviously with all other generalized areas. Follow me on Instagram at Louis Lux. I also do have a Facebook at Louis Lux by Louis. So I'll include all of my links below on the channel box. And if you guys like me, just subscribe. Take care, guys. Ciao.